Hey folks, this morning we're going to pick up with a couple of scriptures. The first one's going to come out of Romans 8:33, and the second one will come out of Colossians 3:12, just for your notes. Essentially what we're going to talk about is that we're his elect, and that we're full of mercy, kindness, humility, and long-suffering. And I know the second I talked about long-suffering, some of you went, yeah, right, I'm not a big fan of that. I get it. But anyways, let me just give you the scripture. Let me make sure I give you the right one. Romans 8:33. Yeah, and this is part of, I spoke about this last week. This is part of what some people call the believer's triumph. So I'm going to give you some context. Who then are we to say about these things? If God is for us, who can be against us? If he did not even spare his own son, but offered him up for us all, how will he not also with him grant us everything? And here's 33. Who can bring an accusation against God's elect? And so you have to recognize, first of all, that you're God's elect, that you've been chosen by him. He elected to do all the things he's done so he could have you. And then we're going to flip over to Colossians 3:12. And for whatever, here we go. So it says, 3:12 begins, therefore God's chosen ones, holy and loved, put on heartfelt compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience, accepting one another and forgiving one another if anyone has a complaint against another. Just as the Lord has forgiven us, so you must forgive. Above all, put on love, the perfect bond of unity, and let the peace of the Messiah dwell richly among you, teaching and admonishing one another in all wisdom and singing psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs with gratitude in your hearts to God. So we're talking about a couple of principles here. First of all, the recognition of who we are, God's elect. Second of all, how do we walk in that? That we've been given these great things like love and peace and patience. And I get long suffering. You know, it's tough when you have someone in your life that's just going through a really bad time. But that's what grows patience in us. And patience is oftentimes that very thing that changes everything. So don't avoid it. Always run towards the Father. I think that's one of the greatest admonitions I would make this morning, is that if you find yourself going through a difficult time and you want to pull away from God, pull away from his body, I would just encourage you to reach in, just to begin to pull in and remind yourself that God's filled you with his mercy, his kindness, his love, and he's dwelling in you.